In the heart of the ancient land, nestled among tall palm trees and red earth pathways, lay the village of Amakaeze. A place of rich harvest, strong traditions, and proud people. A village where every man knew his place, and every secret found its way home.
Motsi Ofanwa and his wife Akigo had waited many years for the gift of a child. Many nights they prayed. Many mornings they wept. Then one blessed day, the God smiled upon them. Akigo conceived and bore a son. They named him Emenike. And in that moment, their world became complete. But the boy they raised with love, the son they gave everything, slowly lost his way. No one knew when it began. No one could explain how it happened. All Amakaeze could see was a young man staggering through the village paths, clutching his clay pot of palm wine, a shadow of everything his parents had hoped for. Akigo sat alone many evenings, her tears soaking into the red earth beneath her feet. She had given this son everything. Sleepless nights. Endless prayers. A mother's unconditional love. And yet, Emenike drank. And drank. And drank. While her heart broke in silence. The shame was too heavy. The worry too deep. Motsi Ofanwa, a man who had survived many seasons, could not survive the heartbreak his only son brought upon him. He closed his eyes one quiet evening, and never opened them again. Emenike had not lifted a sword. But he had killed his father all the same. Across the village, in the royal palace of Igbo, another story was unfolding. Amakaeze had a sacred tradition, carried faithfully from generation to generation. No woman or maiden was to set eyes on the king during her time of flower flow. But one unfortunate day, Princess Egondu, the king's own beloved daughter, came face to face with her father. And in that single moment, the fate of an entire village changed. Igbo called his elders immediately. The palace was heavy with silence as the wisest men of Amakaeze gathered, their faces drawn with worry. They spoke in low tones. They argued. They deliberated. For what had happened was no small matter. The gods of Amakaeze were not known for their mercy. They summoned Agi, the most powerful medicine man in all the land. When Agi spoke, even the walls of the palace listened. His words were cold and final. A great danger was coming to Amakaeze. Calamities that would shake the very roots of the village. An abomination had been committed, and the gods demanded a price. 3 market days later, the warning became reality. Princess Egondu fell into a terrible illness. Pox spread across her beautiful skin. Her cries echoed through the palace walls. The queen wept. The king paced. And the people of Amakaeze watched the sky with fearful eyes, wondering what darkness was yet to come. Agi consulted the gods once more. The answer came. A young able-bodied man would be chosen to go into the sacred land and break Agi's pot of death. The elders trembled at those words. For no man had ever gone near that pot and lived to tell the story. Then Agi pointed his finger. And the room fell deadly silent. The chosen one was Emenike, the village drunkard. When Akigo heard the words of the Igwe, something inside her shattered. She fell to her knees in the middle of the palace, her wails rising to the heavens. First the gods had taken her husband. Now they wanted her son. Her only son. The son she had waited a lifetime to receive. She cried out the name of Motsi Ofanwa as if he could still hear her from beyond. As if he could still save them. The morning came. The village watched in silence as Emenike, fortified by Agi, walked toward the evil forest. He carried nothing but his clay pot of palm wine. Some villagers shook their heads. Others wiped quiet tears. A drunkard walking into certain death. That was the hope of Amakaeze. That was all they had. Inside the sacred land, terror surrounded Emenike from every direction. Spirits whispered. Shadows moved. On the second day, confused and afraid, Emenike began to sing. His voice rose through the trees, raw and unsteady. Then through the mist, she appeared. A maiden, luminous and otherworldly, drawn by the sound of his voice. She made him a promise. "Sing for me, and I will lead you to what you seek." She led him to a village unlike any he had ever seen. Uminunu. A place where everyone was young, dressed in white, and full of joy. They welcomed Emenike with warmth and laughter. And when he sang for them, they danced like the music was the very air they breathed. For one rare moment, Emenike forgot his shame. He forgot his pain. He simply sang. On the fourth day, the maiden released him. She gave him merindu to drink and pointed him in the direction of Agii's pot of death. Emenike walked until he saw it. Ancient. Dark. Surrounded by strange symbols and eerie smoke. It sat on its altar like a silent king, daring any man to come close. Emenike stood before it, his legs trembling, his heart pounding. Then he made a vow to the gods. If they spared his life, he would never touch palm wine again. With every last strength in his body, Emenike reached down. His hands wrapped around the ancient clay. He lifted. Higher. Higher. And with a cry that shook the sacred land, he smashed it to the ground. The pot of death shattered into 1,000 pieces. A blinding flash of light consumed everything around him. And when the lights faded, Emenike was gone from that place. Standing alone on a quiet path, leading home. Akigo had not slept. Adochi had not eaten. They stood at the edge of the village, eyes searching the path with desperate hope. Then they saw him. Walking slowly. Alive. Akigo ran with a strength she did not know she still had. She held her son and wept. Not from sorrow this time, but from a joy that only a mother who has nearly lost everything can truly understand. Amaki celebrated like never before. The elders sang his praises. The Egui kept his promise and gave Princess Egondu to Emenike as wife. The village drunkard became the village hero. And Emenike never forgot his vow. The palm wine was set aside forever. Because sometimes, the gods do not choose the perfect man. They choose the broken one. And through him, they do the impossible. This is the story of Emenike of Amakaeze, the palm wine hero. A reminder that your story is not over, no matter how far you have fallen.